right, guys, in today's market, it is not about chasing banks. It's about survival. Investors are bleeding deals because they cannot get capital fast enough to compete. That's why I'm bringing on Tim. He has launched Turnis Lending, a funding lifeline built by an insider who's been in the trenches for over 20 years with a background in military intelligence and career funding billions in investor deals. Tim knows how to move fast, underwrite smart, and close when it counts. And today, he's going to break down the exact funding plans that Ternus offers and how they can save your next deal. So welcome to the Closers Club. Tim, welcome to the show. In just 18 months, you guys have absolutely disrupted the real estate lending game in a way that honestly nobody saw coming. So let's really set the stage. What exactly makes you guys different, and why should every investor stop what they're doing and listen right now?
We loan the way you buy.
We're
the investors lender. We are owned by our customers.
Mm-hmm.
We sell stock in our company to the everyday investor. You don't have to be accredited to even buy the stock. I don't get my money from Wall Street. I could easily go get $100 million from Wall Street tomorrow, but I don't want it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I loan Main Street money the way Main Street wants the money. So little things, dude, like we don't require a minimum credit score for our fix and flip or transactional funding or wholetail loans.
Really?
We don't get appraisals, right?
Yeah.
The entire thesis, if you will, was 18 months ago. I said, look, if I've bought 2,000 houses without needing an appraisal, I can do it on pictures and comps. Why the hell do I need an appraisal to loan you money on a fix and flip project? So, you know, we're using technology. We're using a great team. We're using common sense to provide the products and services, the loans specifically that the customers want.
I love that. And again, lots of different products that you guys have. And I think what makes you guys so special is that you're a real investor. You've been doing this forever. You're based out of the Dallas market. I know you've got a ton of fix and flips and rentals and all kinds of stuff. So you're in the trenches. And kind of like me as a wholesaler, I view my business from the client side. I think that's what's really making you guys special, is you're viewing lending from the investor side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just got through with, we call it the deal desk, where my loan officers present deals that may not fit the guidelines, but make sense. And we talk about them, and, you know, we come up with solutions to give the customer the capital they need in a timely fashion where they can go make money. I think you said it best when you were in our office teaching our team one day. It's like, keep them focused on the 40 grand profit they're going to make, right? Like, help the customer understand, like, don't worry about it. You need 100 grand. I'm going to give you 100 grand. If I got to charge 2 points for it, get over it. You're going to make 40 grand. I'm going to make 2. You're the winner, right? Like, I mean, you win. You're awesome. You know, and it's just like, that's what we do. And we keep it super simple. We keep it fast. I mean, we close fix and flip loans in 48 hours. And that's assuming the customer actually, I don't know, knows where their bank statement is. Because look, I mean, so the way I look at it, the house, the asset is the collateral. So there's not, of the 13, 14 million in loans we have on our books right now, there's not a single one of those houses I wouldn't be happy to own. And we're not a loan to own shop, but that's the thesis, right? And then for me, the credit is, do you have enough money to pay your interest and start the rehab? Because I'm going to loan you all the rehab funds, but you got to start. Right? And so that asset-based approach is really what it was 20 years ago when you and I got into the business. But the last 12 years, Wall Street's kind of taken it over and changed it to where, one of the stupid things Wall Street does, and by the way, I do take some of the blame because I helped create it 12 years ago with the company I started with Blackstone that we took public. But, you know, if you're a landlord that hasn't flipped a house in 3 years, but you do 8 turns a year, you get 0 credit by Wall Street for experience. Like, flip experience. They're like, oh, well, he hadn't flipped a house in 5 years. It's like, no, but he has, because if you've ever done a rental turn on a tenant that's been there for 3 years on Section 8, it's a flip, right? Like, it's a flip. And I mean, so it's just always like, you know, flipping the script, really staying focused on common sense. And the nice thing is we loan my money, we loan our shareholders money. So if it makes sense, I don't need some kid on Park Avenue to tell me I can do the loan. We make the decisions in-house.
So, you know, one of the things that I was always taught when I was first getting started, again, some ridiculous number of years ago was, you know, the hard money lender or, you know, whoever that is, they will tell you if you actually have a deal, which I think is great, right? Because we're wholesalers, we're out there running around, we're, you know, going corner to corner trying to find a deal, and we get very excited very quickly. So I think it's great that somebody who's going to have some skin in the game is going to look at this deal and tell you, hey man, this is good, or this isn't good. So you have to have some criteria there, but kind of talk about that. And then, you know, what would be an example of like where you mentioned something didn't quite fit the perfect box, but you know, the deal made sense. So you're able to make that loan happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to you about a deal in Corpus Christi, Texas that I just approved like 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
The customer submitted a $25,000 scope of work on a 1,400 square foot ranch style house. If that customer was inexperienced, it would be probably a 45,000 rehab budget.
Right.
And I told the sales guys, like, well, let's look at this, man. Let's figure this out. Well, the customer owns a construction company. And it's a real one. Like, it has a website and a Facebook page and before and after, and there's an LLC, right? It's not some DBA hobby, right? Like, the guy owns a real construction company. Right. Well, you and I both know right there's 20-30% off the top, right, immediate. Yeah. His speed factor is going to be a lot higher. And you start looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I'm good with the $25,000 budget. Given the story behind the customer, it makes perfect sense to go ahead and say, I believe in you. I believe in your track record. Let's get this deal done.
I think that is absolutely that's awesome, because there's so many times where, like you said, it's, you know, this little box, or, you know, you only got 6 out of 7 check marks or whatever, and, you know, we're just not going to approve this loan. So I love it,
David. It's offensive as shit when some guy that's never built the house starts telling you can't do that for 25,000. You're like, who the hell are you, man? Like, I know what I'm doing. So I mean, and that's the other thing is, like, our core values are very important to me. And it's I'm a Marine, so everything has to be an acronym because we're too stupid to remember things, right? So our core values is STARS: speed, because we're going to move fast because time kills deals. Transparency, because we're not going to yank you around. We're going to tell you straight up, like, man, this is a deal or it's not a deal. Accountability, we're going to own our mistakes. Like, if we mess up, we're going to own it and we're going to fix it. Respect, because we're going to respect you and you're going to respect us. Otherwise, we're not working together. And then the last is service. And this one, I get goosebumps every time I say it. I tell my team, we make millionaires, right? Like we take normal humans like Tim Herriage and David Olds, and we make them millionaires by helping them invest in real estate. And it's something that I'm just so passionate about, helping people have what they want in life. And so the service aspect is just huge for me.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And that's why, you know, Easy REI Closings, we have partnered with Ternus, and you guys are 100% our preferred lender. You know, we want all of our clients to use you because we know it's going to be, you know, a very seamless process. So let's talk about some of the kind of the products in lending speak, you know, some of the ways that you can help our clients and, you know, anybody that's out there listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, our number one product right now is we do 100% financing, no credit score requirement, no appraisal, fix and flip properties in 23 states. I'm not even going to try to list them, but Ohio, Texas, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Colorado, Maryland, Washington, like all over. And mind you, we're only an 18-month company. We started out just Texas for 3 months, right? So we're expanding quickly. Licensing can get in the way, but like we're moving those. But it's literally you give us your pictures, your scope of work, and the comps that you used. Because my team, I want to see the comps you use, because that's the beginning of our conversation. David thinks this house is worth 300. David shows me how it's worth 300. And then my team looks at it from that lens. Because ultimately, is that comp close to the house or is it 20 miles away, right? Is it the same style of home? All the same stuff we do when we're buying a house, and our acquisitions guy or gal brings us the package, right? Yeah. And so that's the way we start. And if it's a good deal, we give you a term sheet, we send it to you, you digitally sign it. You're in processing, and we need 2 months worth of bank statements. We need you to tell us who the title company is, right? Preferably they're working with the TC, so we don't have to talk to the customer a whole lot.
Yeah.
We run your background to make sure you're not a fraud, felon, or a fugitive, right? Or a terrorist, right? Like we don't do business with dipshits. Yeah. If you've got a background issue, we're reasonable about it. If it's a violent background thing, we're probably not going to be okay loaning you money. If you hurt children, we're probably not going to be okay loaning you money. Right. If you're in jail every couple of years, we're probably not going to be loaning you money. But if you made a mistake 10 or 15 years ago, and now you're living, a great life, and you haven't been arrested since then, having a felony is not a disqualifier. It's just like, what's the story? Everything we do is just common sense. What's the story? And so the fix and flip, it's 70% loan to value. I don't go above 70% when I buy, so I don't loan above 70%.
Sure.
It's a 6-month loan because I believe on a fix and flip, you should be able to get in and out in 6 months if you're serious.
Sure.
If you need to extend, you can pay more money. You can do like a 90-day extension or whatever. Yeah. But our whole thing is also, we charge 12% for the money, interest, and we charge 2 points. And that's it. And if you want to talk to me about, oh, well, Kiabi this or so-and-so this, like, awesome, call them, right? Yeah. There's a reason we're on the phone. There's good, fast, and there's cheap. And I am good and I am fast. I'm just not cheap. And but
I think that's pretty cheap, man. I've been paying 12% for 10 years. So, and I will tell you, on some of those other companies that you just named, I personally had to get on the phone for our clients with the rep that I knew over at that company and go, bro, what are we doing here? Like, we need to get this thing closed. This contract's running out.
Well, there's no transparency, right? Yeah. There's secret sauce in the background. There's no accountability. Oh, well, this changed. Sorry, guideline change or whatever. I mean, I've been dropped in the grease by a lender plenty of times. And I tell people all the time, I have sat in your seat, maybe not yours, because I've never been a transaction coordinator or management.
You don't want to be.
Almost every seat in this industry I have sat in and continue to sit in. With Ternus, my wife and I borrow, our wholetail loan is a 60-day loan. It's only 1 point. It's still 12% interest, but it's 60 days, so you can get in and out and get possession of the property. Yeah. So Jennifer and I do a couple, transactional funding, wholesale loans. We're doing all of our DSCR loans because I'm still an active investor. Heck, I'm looking at a 100-house new build package right now that I'm trying to find out how to buy.
Nice. So before you go on, I really want to, because what you just talked about there, I'm not sure people understand when we say wholetail, they may not be grasping it, right? This is something, and I'm going to muddle through this, so I want you to correct me, where the investor can go close on the property. Wholetail, it means fix it up a little, as much as you want, as little as you want, but then take that property and then go put it on MLS to sell to the whole world, not just your 800 people that are on your buyers list, literally the whole world. It can be listed by an agent. And I think the reason that I want to really key in on that is because with the changing landscape and laws that are just rapidly changing across the country, they are trying to do away with assignments and wholesaling. This is the answer, guys. This is it. This solves every single problem that is out there, right? The ability to close on a deal, then market it and then sell it wipes out every single law that they're doing across the country.
Yeah, and so the difference in qualification criteria, right, is if you're borrowing the rehab funds, it's a larger loan. Yeah. So you have to have 6 months worth of payments at a larger loan amount, and so you have to have more cash in the bank. On the wholetail, we're only looking for 60 days worth of payments. Yeah. So, and you don't have to borrow the rehab, so your required cash in your bank account is lower. So it is an easier loan to borrow. And so I'll give you an example. One customer in Texas, I think it was in May, did 5 wholesale loans with us on one day. He bought a problem rental portfolio from a landlord, and his whole thing was he needed to get title, get all the leases and everything organized, and then he was going to start selling them out one by one. And so we've now checked in with him because he's running out of his 60 days, and it looks like he sold 3 and 2 are going to refi on DSCR long-term rental loans with us. And since he's going to go ahead and do the refi, obviously it was easy to give him an extension on the wholesale loan, right? So it's just all common sense and like finding ways to help people be of service and help them grow their business with products and services that they need and want.
Yeah, guys, I'm the biggest advocate for wholesaling out there. Believe me, I've done countless, over 1,600 of them. But this is the future. I'm telling you right now, look back in 3 years, 5 years, wholesaling is going to be done. Like the states are figuring out how to do away with it. This is the answer. And the ability to do this, it wasn't there. This is something Tim and we've talked about, for years and years. And this is the product that I think is really going to help investors. You guys should be closing on these deals. You'll take your $20,000 deal and turn it into a $35,000 deal by being able to take title and put it on the market.
Well, and David, I mean, you and I, we don't like to fearmonger, right?
No,
but ultimately, people have to understand, like, the big guys, the iBuyers, the hedge funds, the REITs, they want wholesaling to be illegal. They want to get you out of the market. And with this wholetail loan, it's a way that you can get title. Most people end up just trashing out the properties, and then they don't have to work around the seller's schedule to show the house. So a lot of my friends are even doing the wholetail. Well, with Jennifer and I, we did the wholetail. This most recent one, we cleaned it out. We ended up painting the house real quick, like a rental make ready, right? And we paid $190. We sold it for $260. Like 80 days, we're in and out, and that's just one of those things that it's harder to do with the traditional lenders. So that's and we're going to continue to grow. Like we're now doing second lien line of credits. We're testing them, I should say. My sales guy's on here. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's do it."
I get in trouble all the time for things we're testing, and I'm like, "Let's roll it out." Heather's like, "Let's just test it for 60 days, please."
Because I'm like you, David. I have a lot of properties that I have 3 and 4% interest mortgages on. But I've got $200,000 or $300,000 in equity. I don't want to give up that low interest thing, but I need to tap the equity. So we're rolling that out. We're testing that. We're testing some line of credit products for professional investors that do, 5 a month. But right now we don't care if it's your first house or your 10th house. We're going to treat you with respect, and we're going to loan quickly and transparently. And if you've got your stuff together, closing in a week is not a problem.
I love that. So I cut you off a little bit earlier. So now we've got fix and flip. We've got wholetail, transactional funding. Let's talk about that, and then we'll get into the granddaddy, the DSCR.
Yeah, I mean, transactional funding. If you need to double close on a property and have your name on title, and the funds do not need to leave escrow until your buyer funds, we charge a point or $2,500, whichever is greater, and we'll fund your deal. If you need it to break escrow and you need a couple days, like 3 or 4 days, then you just need to go with the wholetail loan. But the transactional funding is a huge thing. It helps people get going. And what I love is when a wholesaler comes and does the transactional funding with me and then refers their borrower to me for the fix and flip. Because if you do that, I only charge you $500 for the transactional funding.
Nice.
Well, because I already have to underwrite the deal. It's just an extra wire in and wire out, right? And so I do need to pay my staff to do that.
Of course.
But I mean, if you bring me the back end customer that I'm taking out of my transactional funding loan with, we're happy to take care of you, right? And so then now you get rid of the problem of the buyer seeing how much you're making, the seller seeing how much you're making, the title companies that say you have to fund your deal before you can sell it. Some of this legislation. That's the entire intent, is to help the investor continue to make money the way they want to.
Nice. And guys, I can't tell you, when I was running around doing rehabs all the time and, closing on these deals, man, Tim, I had big balls when I knew I had funding and could close on these things. I'm telling you, when I'm a wholesaler, in the back of your brain, you're like, I can give you, 220, because I'm in the back of my brain. I'm like, oh, can I assign this for 240? But man, when I had cash, I'm like, dude, I'll give you 175. We'll close this thing in 3 to 4 days. Let's get this done, right? Like you just talk different. You approach your deals different. Your spreads just grow. I mean,
well, you don't need an option.
No.
You don't need to do that stupid clause subject to business partners approval or I mean, it just simplifies things and lets you go execute on your math instead of becoming, frankly, a motivated seller yourself.
Yeah. And we see this so much with, we have hundreds and hundreds of clients all across the country. And, we see them grow from like baby wholesalers to be like real investors. And so many of them, as their business evolves, they get out of wholesaling because it's just a grind. It's awesome, listen, I made more money than I ever should have wholesaling. But then they get into, taking these properties down and, wholetailing them, rehabbing them, keeping them as rentals. But you have to have a funding solution for all that.
Absolutely. And,
Right.
and that's, our mission statement is we're the investor's lender.
Yeah.
It's plural possessive, meaning the apostrophe is after the S, just meaning that we are owned by the investors.
Yeah.
And we partner with investors to build wealth and create a legacy. And that's why we're selling equity in the company, right?
Yeah.
It's not a debt fund. We have a debt fund too, if someone's interested in that, but we're selling stock in the company because we want the customer to enjoy the ride with us.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to continue to offer the products and services that the customer really wants and needs. And the way we do that is we are not beholden to Wall Street or the big banks. I'm beholden to you, my friend, my shareholder, my customer.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Last thing, DSCR. But even before we do that, I want you to explain what that means for all the people that are too afraid to ever post on Facebook and wonder what the hell those initials even mean.
Yeah. So DSCR, debt service coverage ratio loan. It's a rental property loan that's based on the cash flow of the property, not your personal income. So it's a multiple of, if your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is $1,000 a month, we need you to rent the house for $1,200, because now the house can pay for itself plus some overages. We're good to go. We give you the loan. Now that one's different. That one does require credit and appraisal because it's a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and it has to be sold to the secondary market, basically to Wall Street or insurance companies or pension funds. So that one is different than the Ternus products, but we do it different in that we're closing DSCR loans in 14 days, David. Wow. The industry average is 35. So it's everything we do. We are obsessed with speed, and I'll make decisions as the CEO and founder, and my team will push back, and they'll say, in the interest of speed, that's a bad decision. And when they say it to me that way, I listen, because if we can be fast and you can count on us and to give you dependable, consistent capital with speed, transparency, and dependability, that's where we win.
Yeah. So I love that. And what is amazing with the DSCR loan is there's no it's only a 5-year loan, right? Where every 5 years we got to start over again, and I got to send the bank my personal financial statement and all that nonsense. It's once and done, and it's for, whatever it is. Yeah, 30 years, the life of kind of the project.
Well, and this is where we're really getting creative. We're investing. One of the reasons we're selling stock is we're investing a lot in technology. Yeah. We're rolling out our new technology soon, where the investor will be able to sync with Plaid and never have to send another bank statement again. Number one.
Nice.
And number two, by doing that, Plaid actually has a product that they basically check your credit and your background report and make sure you're not a terrorist or a violent felon. Yeah. So we can literally do all of that in 50 seconds and never have to ask you for a bank statement again. And then the next screen, you'll put in the property address. We'll run 3 AVMs, automated valuation models against it. And if it checks out, you get immediate approval. And the next screen is, do you want to close tomorrow? Upload your Schedule C, right? Wow. Because we already know the money you have. We already know your entity information. It doesn't have to be as hard as Wall Street has made it. And we are obsessed with making it easier.
I love it. Okay, Tim, last question. If an investor comes to you today with a killer deal, but no funding lined up, what's the first move that you would tell them to do to lock this thing down fast and get it closed?
Yeah. So number one, don't let yourself be in that position. You always look for money when you don't need it. Don't wait until you need it to look for it. So that's number one. But let's assume that you didn't listen to me, and now here you are. You got a deal and you need money. Get organized. Have your entity documents in a Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive that is easy to share. Download your bank statements on the first day of every month. As soon as they're ready, put them in that same folder, in a subfolder that says bank statements, right? Your contract, you need to have the contract ready to share with us. Your title company needs to have open title. You'd be amazed how many times these wholesalers,
I know,
title companies are so used to them falling through that they don't even order title. You need your bank statements, your scope of work. Do not look, man. A scope of work is not kitchen, 5,000, bathroom, 4,000, paint, 5,000, other, 20,000. That's not a scope of work, right? And if you don't know how to make a scope of work, there's a lot of free resources on Bigger Pockets. We have a great relationship with OfferPad Renovations. I don't know if you've worked with them yet or not, but Bobby Triplett and his team,
Amazing.
if you're using OfferPad, they are the only contractor in the nation that we will pay directly, because they get 50% up front and 50% when done. We will give them a 50% upfront payment on your behalf. That way you don't even have to deal with it. But no, so scope of work, pictures, comps, entity docs, bank statements. That's really what you need. And then I'll tell you, the one thing investors don't do well in general is tell their story, right? Like a lot of people talk about social media as, document the journey, but you have to go a step farther. Include some before and afters in a standard package. Include how many houses you bought as a wholesaler, as a flipper, how many you own as a rental property, what your net worth is. Always keep these things up to date. Little things like, I have been a general contractor for 12 years in this state, and here's my license, and here's my LLC, and I have 20 employees. All of those things, they seem trivial, but the better you tell your story, the quicker the lender can make sure you get through the process. So I'm a big fan, Jennifer does it for me, of having a Dropbox ready to go. We will use Google Drive, ready to go. And it's like title company Dropbox, right? Lender Dropbox or Google Drive folder. And the minute you open a file, it's like, here you go. And if you make sure, you can use a VA, if you make sure those bank statements are always there, if you make sure those entity docs are always up to date, if you make sure that your scope of works go into a normal format, it is super easy to be a good customer. So I think that's the thing. Get organized. That's the number one advice I can tell anyone. Get organized.
All right, guys. This is why we are partnering with Ternus, to make sure that these deals, one of us has some, maybe that's feedback on me. Guys, this is why we are partnering with Ternus, to make sure that you have one-stop solution for your lending. So we've dropped the link kind of right underneath here. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put it down in the bottom. But go to Ternus.com and see for yourself the difference. Fast capital, smart terms, and built for investors just like you. Tim, thank you so much for joining us on the Closers Club.